stands haunted, with her bloated womb betrayed, desperate for spot to lay a tomb arrayed with flowers, faded, gone, all but the memory of that fond embrace which laid indelible as they laid incredible. The deed was done which doomed their infant son, for I believe she was a creature mature, and she could boast with great creative pride she bore. Why should I cry? No, for none of these I cry, but when I weep, it is because I find my people fast asleep. Or are they blind and need some spectacle or braille to help them read and find the trail which leads to happiness? Will no one say to them that lethargy, bitterness, nourish frustration, and sanction degradation, detractors all to make them fall into the deeper mesmeric sleep? This makes me weep, and so I weep to think the harvest which we reap of choke and rob our youth too long neglected and uncouth through awkward systems which throttles, stifles, and robs them of a chance their lives to enhance, must dare to break the rope of slavery through knavery, or breathe forevermore the lease of fleece, fraud, and crime. This makes me pine. Oh,
of course, as things come to my mind, I'll mention them, because this book is random remarks and random things come to my mind. One of our pioneering word lovers we forgot to mention today is Wordsworth McAndrew. Right? With his metagee and so on, a man just living in obscurity in Newark, New Jersey. And I was saying, when Dr. Jagan gave a speech about 2 weeks ago, and I asked a question, and I put forward a suggestion, which I hope is considered. It will be a very honorable and a very noble and generous gesture to call our university the Walter Rodney University. For more than one reason. Because Walter names rings international connections to Tanzania and the whole intellectual world. And then it would be wonderful to call the various faculties. For example, if you've got the literary faculty, it could be the A.J. Seymour faculty, and then someone like Vesta Lowe, who's been collecting folk songs. If you've got a folklore department, like in St. Lucia, they've got a folklore department, that could be the Vesta Lowe faculty. We must start commemorating our creators in that type of way. You can go to North London and you can visit Keats' house. Yeah. It will make our hearts proud when one day we can get on that steamer, go to New Amsterdam and visit Meta Lulz's house. And that brings me to the writers. In this book, to show you Yango's literary mind, he brings in the occasional line from West Indian novels. So if he's speaking of someone having ears, the boy is smelling himself. So proud, you know. He mentions Jan Carou's novel Black Midas. The Woman with Baby, he mentions Wilson Harris's novel. So he brings in the occasional extract from a novel to flesh out the words. So it's a whole journey into a mind that was obviously in love with language, a classically trained mind. And if the young people feel, well, the classics is not part of we thing, they're missing out, because when you've got that classical foundation, you can also revolutionize it and you can brook it up with the folk. But now, Grace Nichols, a poet from Guyana, daughter of a headmaster.
Just one quick poem. I'd like to say how happy I am to be here on this occasion. I didn't know C A Yansen, but I mean, I'm very glad that this book has come into existence, because I'm a great lover of our Creole language, and I'm sure it's taken him a lot of, love and dedication to get this book out. I'll just read a poem for my mother, a Guyanese woman, who, like most Guyanese mothers, just didn't believe in outward cleanliness, but also in the inward. So this one I'm going to read for you is called Abracadabra. And for me, she was like a magician in more ways than one. You know, she always had some remedy up her sleeve, a plaster for every sore. And every Sunday we were dosed down with things like Cenepods and Epsom salt, which she brewed. Every Sunday religiously, we had to have this before going to church. Okay, abracadabra. My mother had more magic in her tongue than the length and breadth of any magician, weaving incredible stories around the dark green senna brew, just to make us slake that ritual Sunday purgative, knowing when to place a cochineal poultice on a fevered forehead, knowing how to measure a belly symmetry, kneading the narrow pains away. Once, my baby sister stuffed a split pea up her nostril. We stood around her like inquisitive Gaulins. My mother got a crochet needle and gently tried to pry it out. Suddenly, in surgeon's tone, she ordered, "Pass the black pepper," and patted a little under the dozing nose. My baby sister sneezed. The rest was history.
Thank you, Grace Nichols. I mean, I see an expression in Yango's book again, break it up, you know, break it up. I forgot that word, break it up. When somebody using big fat language, man, break it up. You know? But at the same time, we have this love for the big words, you know. It's one of those interesting things, this love of the language. I mean, the old man, I can't let this occasion pass and don't mention Prophet Wills of Buxton. As an old teacher, the current Prophet Wills, you know, all he wanted to do was to tell the little boy to take out the jackass and go and feed it, and I'm going to pay you tomorrow. He said, extricate the quadruped from the vehicle. Provided provender. And before the aureola borealis has risen up on the horizon, I will recompense you. Anyway, I want to hand over soon. I'm going to do a poem. If anybody want to do, I'm going to do a poem about food, since in appreciation of the caterer. And I want you to join in with this line: dipping your belly bucket in the well of your culture. This is about food, but this book is like dipping into the well of language and a well of memory. When you reach for a sugar cane, like the hand of an old friend, what do you call that? Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. When you shake a coconut at your ear and you listen for a song of water, what do you call that? Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. When you can tell a plantain from a banana, what do you call that? Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. When you drop a dumpling in the ocean of a crab soup, what do you call that?
Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture.
When you see a pumpkin swelling like uprising, what do you call that? Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. When you caress a nutmeg and find its smell of revolution, what do you call that? Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. When you touch a key and trace the eye of a Nancy, what do you call that? Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. Dip in your belly bucket in the well of your culture. Yeah, beautiful audience, beautiful audience.
All I could say is follow that.
It's a very hard act to follow. And unlike my sister and my father, I hate speaking. Anyway, I must thank you all for coming here this evening, especially our new High Commissioner, Mr. Aloysius Singh, and his wife, who've left. Grateful for their presence in any case. What should I say? Well, this book is a sort of accumulation of bits and pieces that my father had put together over the years. The material represents years of interest in all things CREOLESE. When I was putting the book together, I sometimes wondered how my rather staid, or should I say, fastidious father had managed to collect some of the material. But then I remembered that he was a very good listener, and he was very interested in people from all backgrounds, all ages, all ethnic backgrounds in Guyana, especially the old. And it's from him that I and my sister and my brother have gained our respect and interest in old people. He always told us there was a lot to gain from them. One of his very best friends in his 20s and 30s was a very old man who'd spent years in the interior. And from him he gained a lot of his knowledge of, I suppose, what we see in the book. A lot has to be attributed to this old friend of his. For C A Yansen, writing random remarks was sheer pleasure, not an onerous task. As my sister mentioned, he would jump up in the middle of the night when he remembered something to put it down. Oh, I've got another, I remembered something else. I don't know, as I said, I hate public speaking. I know what I want to say, but it's gone completely out of my mind.
Very well.
But before, I must say thank you to Thelma Lewis, who has been very encouraging. She has helped in publicizing the book and in selling it. And her moral support and has been of great value to us. I must also thank Peter Fraser and John Agar for their wonderful contributions this evening.
I'm prepared to help you. Prepared to be pleased.
All this extra, if you don't mind. Yes. He's the original pupil.
His name is
George Singh.
Yes, yes, I know.
Sonia,
You give
I am going to ask you please to sign all of these books as we have. Please. Bring that cup from next door. Give me my book.